The ending of Boruto manga chapter 66 possibly gave us one of the biggest cliffhangers in the entire series, which literally showcased to us the apparent death of Boruto. And while in reality he was actually dead, or he was almost dead, we knew that he was never going to be permanently dead. And that is actually resolved to us here in Boruto manga chapter 67, where we get explicit confirmation of what exactly went on and how did Boruto even actually get revived, because all of these things tie back to one singular entity, and that being Momoshiki Otsutsuki. So hello and welcome to WhyZ, and in this quick video we are going to talk about Boruto's revival and what exactly went on in this particular process, and also what it means for the future of the series. But before that, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to our channel, since I do weekly anime and manga related content along with a bunch of other stuff. With that being said, let's just jump into it. So at the end of Boruto manga chapter 66, Boruto was actually dead. Had it not been for the intervention of Momoshiki, Boruto was actually dead, because this is not just him getting his chakra reserves down or him getting knocked out by some kind of a move. This was a legit real world injury on his physical body, in a very similar manner to actually Neji. I was not able to catch that in manga chapter 66, but this exact injury was sort of similar to the death of Neji, and that is something which is, even though not explicitly shown here for Naruto, but it obviously had a huge effect on Naruto and how he was having a basically mental breakdown session here. So what exactly happened here is that because of the attacks, or the piercing attacks of Kawaki, Boruto's heart and parts of his lungs were absolutely destroyed. The tissues and muscles and everything was just torn apart, and because of the blood loss, Boruto was about to die. And at that very moment, at that very instance, Momoshiki appeared. Like, this is something which you have already seen so far. These cloud-like smoky effects, whenever they take place, it is a symbolization that Momoshiki is finally appearing. He is manifesting out of Boruto. Now, this is not a real world manifestation per se. This is most likely happening within or inside Boruto's body. All these things are sort of kept ambiguous here as to whether Momoshiki really appeared in the real world while the time was frozen, or is it happening at a sort of separate plane, at a separate entity, sort of similar to the entire tailed beast dimension situation. So it's not explicitly clearly shown to us here in the manga, but we can basically assume that okay, Momoshiki just appeared, he froze the time, because we get a flashback here. We get a flashback moment of when Naruto was holding the lifeless body of Boruto, and we literally see Boruto's soul effectively looking onto his body. And it was at that very last moment when Momoshiki appeared, and he told to us, and he basically told to Boruto that you are my precious vessel. You are not only a means for my personal reincarnation, but rather you are also an attachment point, a fixation point, wherein my soul is attached to the real world. Basically, Momoshiki's soul is actually fixated to the real world, to the world of the living, via Boruto, via the vessel. And that's why Momoshiki cannot afford to lose Boruto, sort of in a similar manner to what exactly happened to Ishiki Otsutsuki. And all of these things also tie back to Boruto's prophecy, which Momoshiki had made all the while back. Now, the entire prophecy situation is a totally different topic of discussion. I'll probably make follow-up videos to that, so stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification to get notified whenever I upload that particular video. But basically what happens here is that Momoshiki has saved Boruto's life, and this is the one final time which is happening. He's not going to be able to do this ever again. This is a one final chance. But it also has some major repercussions also, and we are going to talk about that later on. But for now, the information which is revealed to us is that Boruto was actually going to die because his heart and the tissues from his lungs were absolutely destroyed, and he had lost a lot of blood. But because of the usage of karma, or via the usage of the karma mark, Momoshiki was able to save Boruto's body. Essentially here, up until this moment, 82% of Momoshiki's data had been decompressed inside the body of Boruto. The de-Otsutsukification process was 82% complete, and the remaining 18%, had it been done, Momoshiki's revival would have been completed. That was the basic thing. We were sort of aware that this is going on. We were sort of aware that this was actually going on behind the scenes, even though we were not aware of the actual correct number or correct percentage. But here Momoshiki explicitly states or uses the numbers 82% and 18%. But what happens here is that because of the grave injury that Boruto receives, it doesn't matter if he has 82% of decompressed Otsutsuki chakra or decompressed Otsutsuki DNA. If Boruto is dead, that means Momoshiki is also dead, because his point of asphyxiation to the living world, to the world of living, is gone once and for all. And in a manner similar to Ishiki Otsutsuki, Momoshiki is also done and dusted from the world of the living. So that's why what Momoshiki did here is that from the remaining 18% of the karma mark, instead of decompressing his own Otsutsuki DNA, he has converted the remaining 18% of the DNA into Boruto's own tissues. So basically, to give you a rundown or a quick explanation of what exactly is going on here, is that using the remaining 18% Otsutsuki DNA, Momoshiki has basically crafted the damaged heart and lungs which Boruto had, and he has also replenished the amount of blood which Boruto had lost. So effectively combining 82% and 18%, Boruto has now arrived and become 100% pure Otsutsuki. It also has its own repercussions. Boruto is no longer human anymore, he is 100% an Otsutsuki. But at the same time, because Momoshiki's own DNA was not fully recovered, was not fully decompressed, Momoshiki can no longer revive back into the body of Boruto. So essentially, Momoshiki's revival has been halted here, most likely permanently, even though we need a discussion for that as well, if Momoshiki is ever going to be able to reincarnate in the body of Boruto or maybe on some other bodies, but we are going to talk about that later on. But for now, Momoshiki's reincarnation has been halted, but unfortunately, owing to all of these things, Boruto has now become 100% Otsutsuki. He has ceased to become a normal human being, and we all know that this is going to have major repercussions moving forward into the actual series. Also in the manga chapter, we get a full visual explanation of what exactly went on here, with the karma mark literally coming towards the heart and towards the center of Boruto's body, and we get to see the karma mark forming these new tissues. So this was very effectively showcased to us in the actual manga chapter, that is Boruto manga chapter 67. So that is essentially how Boruto revived in Boruto manga chapter 67. So what do you guys think about all of these things? Are you happy by the way in which things were handled here? Because honestly, if you ask me, this methodology, this entire process is fine, but had it been done maybe 2 chapters later, say around chapter 68 or 69, I feel like it would have a much better or a much bigger impact overall, rather than just showcasing Boruto's revival in the very next chapter. It would have really left the viewers at their toes to find out what exactly is going on, how is Boruto going to get revived, because let's be real, at the end of the day, we know that Boruto is not dead. He was not dead at the end of chapter 66, or at least not permanently dead at the end of chapter 66 because of the time skip Ds. But I feel like this was done in a very rushed manner, and maybe if it would have taken place maybe 2 or 3 chapters later on, it would have been much more impactful. But these are some of my thoughts in this particular regard. What do you guys think about all of these things? Once again, please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more. This is WhyZ. I'll see you all on the next one. In the meantime, be sure to join the channel membership for some very cool perks and features, and join the Discord server for more.